Welcome, my friends. Welcome to the first ever episode of Bulls Without Borders. And man, it is an honor to have these gentlemen on here with me. Honestly, this has been a project that we've been talking about for months, and it's really cool that they were able to get on here with me. Really appreciate them. Of course, we were supposed to also have Melissa, formerly of Bulls on Tap, and Jamal of Bull Central, but they were unable to make it tonight. They do give their condolences, but the gentlemen that are here are pretty awesome themselves. So without further ado, I have to my bottom, I have Haize of Chicago Bull Central, man. Appreciate you being on. You want to tell the people where they can find you?
I mean, if you guys don't know where to find me by now, no, I'm just playing. It's at CEO Haize, at Bull Central Pod. But Phil, what do you say? Your condolences? We're not dead here, bro. Let's liven it up a little bit. Pick it up, bro.
Right. All right. Yeah. Okay. My bad. No condolences. Maybe just like a salute or something. Yeah, we're not.
Apologies.
That feels like that too. I'll work on it. But to my right, I got Troy of Whole Lot of Bull, man. And he also has something else that he does. Troy, you want to share what you do for the people?
Thanks for having us on, Phil. So obviously, apart from doing my Chicago pod, Whole Lot of Bull, I also have my Australian basketball YouTube channel podcast, Whole Lot of NBLs, where I'm doing my best to try and cover the entire league.
He's the best in the game at it. And to my diagonal, I have my friend Neill of C-Red UK. Neill, it is a pleasure to have you. And anybody who's seen any of the hype videos that have come out for this project, that's been all him. He's been killing it. So appreciate you, Neill.
Yeah, thanks a million. I'm delighted to be a part of this. Really looking forward to this going forward. So yeah, like you say, I'm C-Red UK for anyone that doesn't know me, but we're all going to be Bulls Without Borders now, right?
There we go, man. Absolutely. And going forward, for anybody who doesn't know, we're going to be doing monthly shows. That way, it feels nice and special when we all come together. I guess unless we have to, if the Bulls go ahead and trade the house for Giannis or something, we might want to get together. But I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. So we could probably store that one in the cupboard. But all right, man. So let's just, let's kick it off nice and good, man. How are you feeling about the Bulls this season? I'll start with you, Haize. How are you feeling about the Chicago Bulls going into 25-26?
I feel like I'm one of the more positive Bulls content creators. I look at this team and I don't see a way that they've gotten worse personally. So I think that this is a team that's going to be competing for a 500 or above record this year. I think that, they've added some more defense, not enough. They still don't have a lot of rim protection, which they do need unless Noah Essegay really steps up. But I'm in an overall positive place about this team. And let's just hope that I'm still here at the end of November, because that's sometimes where it starts crashing for the Bulls. But yeah.
That'd be nice, man. It'd be really nice to play some meaningful basketball past November. But how about you, Troy, man? How are you feeling, brother?
Yeah, I think maybe all of us as a small group, we're probably all the positive guys in Bulls Nation, because I'm feeling good. Like as Haize just said, there's no way we've gotten actually worse for this coming season. Obviously Lonzo for a Okoro trade. We're gonna have a guy who should be on the court for the majority of the season, unlike 70 games in 4 years. Shout out Ramirez. She had a bit of a dig at me for that one. Martis takes another step up. Josh has another year and develops more. Coby White, he has a full year in the same role, and he can step up. And yeah, I don't see any way in which we're worse.
I fully agree. I mean, everybody, I would assume, knows my optimistic self. So, Neill, are you going to make it a clean sweep of optimism for the Bulls?
No, this Bulls team's screwed. No, I'm joking. I'm the same as you guys. I don't see how this team is falling under so much criticism in regards to a decrease in wins. I mean, okay, they may not have got particularly better or much better, but they certainly haven't got any worse. So, I mean, I'm shooting for a 500 team this year at least. Not way over that at all, but around the 500 mark, I think is a pretty reasonable expectation.
Okay, I like that. We'll get by the end of it. I want to do record predictions, but I guess what do you think? What are you looking for? I guess we'll start off with start off with Josh Giddey. So obviously, Josh Giddey just signed a 4-year, $100 million extension. Depending on who you are, that's either the best thing that has happened to this team in a long time or the worst thing that's happened to this team in a long time. So I would say that we most all of us lean more towards the former. But Neill, we'll start. We'll go back in reverse order, man. Like, what do you think of? What would a good stat line be for Josh Giddey having signed this deal? What stat line do you think would make him deserving of this contract?
I think he's going to be not quite getting a triple-double on average, but not far off it. I think somewhere along the lines of maybe 18, 19 points per game per average with maybe 8 or 9 assists and rebounds is pretty solid. And I think that's what we're going to pretty much see from him. The question mark that's over Josh Giddey, and this is the thing that people keep digging at, is that he only did it for 19, 20 games at the end of the last season. But the reason why he was able to do it at that stage was because the dynamic around the team changed at that point for him. And he was able to embrace that and play like himself. So I think we're going to see a much closer version of that with Josh Giddey than what we saw for the first half of the season.
Awesome. What do you think, Troy?
Yeah, I think Neill's hit the nail on the head there. I think Josh is going to be closer to that player that we saw in that last 20, 25 games of the season. He's not the player who.
What's going on? You found yourself on Chicago.
What the fuck is happening? My bad, y'all. I don't know what's going on.
You're
My window
good,
keeps reloading. My bad.
You're good, man. Yeah, I don't. As we've all said before, Josh isn't the type of player who's going to try and go out and get his own points. Like, he can definitely do it, but he's a guy who wants to set up his teammates and make them better. Like, as Haize has brought up the stat, he's in the 98th percentile for creating wide open shots for his teammates. So that's his bread and butter, and obviously that's his elite skill. Unlike what some people want to say about him. In terms of given just plain raw numbers, I think he's going to be in that 16 to 18 point range. 8, 9 assists, 8, 9 rebounds. He's going to flirt with that triple double. May not necessarily get there, but it's probably more so as far as his offense goes. I think it's going to be how does he draw out the defense as well? Like, can he have some consistency on that 3-point shot as well? And by those workout videos on the off season, it's looking a lot better.
Hold up, man. You can't be excited about workout videos. You're not allowed to do that. Sorry, man. I'm just playing. How people get with the. I mean, what else are we supposed to get excited for, man? The guys playing basketball. I mean, what? How are you feeling about it, Haize?
You know how I feel. The fact that people try to make this like it's the worst deal ever, to me, are just I don't know what they're caught up in. This is a great deal for a starting level point guard. I think when you look at Josh Giddey, even when people say the slow start, he got off to a slow start scoring, absolutely. But when you look at how the roster was set up at that point, that wasn't his role, was to do a lot of scoring. If you go in and look more, you guys know I'm a heavy analytics dude. Zach LaVine was on pace to have one of his most efficient and most assisted seasons ever, and that was because of Josh Giddey. At the start of the season, Josh Giddey, most of his assists went to Nikola Vucevic, number 1, and Zach LaVine, number 2. So when you look at the start of the season they had statistically, while it did not lead to a bunch of wins for the Bulls, that's part of Josh Giddey's on-ball creation that he brings to this team. So yeah, he started off slow scoring-wise, but that wasn't his role. Guess what? If Modest takes the next step, like a lot of people are hoping for scoring-wise, he's going to probably take a step back scoring too, and that's perfectly fine. Josh Giddey's amazing at creating shots, and that's one of what he does bread and butter-wise. So I think a realistic stat line for Josh Giddey, and this is taking everything into consideration. If Modest takes a step, and even Kevin Huerter keeps up the 15 points per game pace that he was on, I think a good stat line for Josh Giddey, 18, 8, and 8. I think that's a perfect stat line for him, 18, 8, and 8. And I think that's more than reasonable. He can go above that, actually.
I love that, Haize. It's like you pulled that right from my mind. So I've been saying that my prediction for his averages is 18, 9, and 8. So we were right there. I mean, honestly, you guys all hit that range. But for me, I think, contrary to what you maybe say for a lot of NBA players, especially stars, his points are probably what I'm least concerned about. It's everything else that Josh Giddey does that makes him valuable. And as long as he's hitting his 3-pointer at a decent clip, I don't really care what his actual averages like scoring are. As long as he can, as long as the defense has to respect that 3, everything else kind of falls in place from there. Can we just say right here, right now, like in front of the people, like people that are saying that this is an overpay, you're absolutely nuts. Like you're crazy. I don't understand. Yeah, I don't. There's no basis for it. To say that it's an overpay is to say that he doesn't deserve to be paid like a starting point guard. And I think it's pretty clear that he's a starting point guard in the NBA. I mean, personally, I know I'm tired of talking. I love Josh Giddey as a player, and I'm tired of talking about him because everybody keeps everybody has something new and dumb to say about Josh Giddey. It feels like every day. And, if John Hollinger says that it's a good deal, it's a good deal. It's usually a pretty good rule of thumb.
You see, that Keith Smith released that according to Spot Rack, the information they've got now, it's a 25 per year flat contract. It's not ascending, it's not descending. It's just 25 million a year.
Does that make any difference for any of you guys?
No, it just means that the contract is going to become, a better value contract as the years go on. They take the hit in the first year, maybe, but as it moves on and as the cap changes, it's going to be a better deal.
Absolutely. I'm surprised that there's not more descending contracts in the NBA. For that reason, like I guess a lot of teams don't want to pay the top dollar right off the bat, but it makes the contract very tradable as it goes along, like you said. So yeah, I agree with everything you guys said. I'm excited to see now that he's locked in. I was so terrified that he was going to be on a qualifying offer, and that would have really been a downer. It would have put a dark cloud over the entire season. So I'm really glad they got the deal done. So I guess we'll naturally move on to probably the second biggest, piece of this team moving forward, and eventually the biggest piece, which is Matas Buzelis. So Troy, we'll start with you this time. How are you feeling about Matas? Do you feel like he needs to be like the secondary scorer this season, or do you feel like, you just want to see his game develop and you're not so caught up in whether or not he's the first or second option or anything like that?
I'm definitely not caught up in whether he's the first or second option at this point. Maybe we look at him as a third option. Like I would prefer. I just want to see him add things to his game this year, like creating his own shot. Because last year he was very dependent on getting shots created for him. Most of those coming from Josh Giddey. But this year, I just want to see him can he take guys off the dribble? Can he create his own shot? And next year, going into year 3 for Matas is when I want to see him take that jump into being like the second or even first option for this team. That's when he should explode, hopefully.
Okay. Haize, what are you thinking?
Yeah, for Matas, it really depends on what the development plan is for him. So, I don't know if he's going to jump right into being the second scoring option. That may rely still on Giddey for now until Matas kind of shows what he's ready to do. I do think he's going to see an uptick in shots available, but I see them as they're going to want to work out and round off a lot of Matas's game. So I don't know if it's always going to be scoring. There may be times where he's facilitating, which allows Io and Coby, if they're on the court with him, to operate off ball, which they're growing at as well. So I got to see first how Billy plans and what the focus is for it, because they may want him to work on his playmaking first before taking on a larger scoring load. Where I want to see Matas grow is attacking the rim and getting to the free throw line more. And I think while I still think it's going to be a little bit rough, I know he's added a lot of muscle this offseason on ball defensively, but he can use his length to be in passing lanes, to get steals, of course, block shots. That's what he's already good at. If we see a more active Matas Buzelis on the defensive side of the ball and just see growth in a little bit of all the areas, that's the most important thing. Year 3 is probably where I see we see the big leap in Matas for responsibility and that type of thing.
I'll tell you what, I'm impatient. I can't wait to see it because I think that this dude's going to be a baller, man. Neill, how are you feeling, man?
Yeah, well, the one thing that we know that Matas isn't lacking in is confidence, right? And if you're confident enough and you have the skill set to go with it, you're going to make an impact. The question is just when with Mattis, I think. And like Haize said, you know, a lot of the time players, it is the third year when they take that leap. And I don't see Mattis necessarily being too far behind on that either. But I do also think we will see growth in him this year. He's going to be getting more responsibility. He's going to be given more, like you say, playmaking on the ball. We saw that even in the summer league. And so I think that's going to be the expectation, is to put the ball in his hands a little bit more. But I'm really excited to see how he develops more on defense as well, because that's the biggest hole that we have in this Bulls team is defense. And I think if Mattis can grow, that becomes contagious. Like, good defense is contagious. And I think that if he starts to really push on the defense, you'll see the rest of the team will start to make more of an effort. I'm hoping to see Okoro do something similar, like really push on the defense. And that's where we need to start making a bit more of a mark. Start putting a bit of fear into other teams, because at the minute, we don't have that as the Chicago Bulls. We need to start making other teams fear us a little bit on both ends of the floor.
I don't know. I don't think. I mean, when Yuki Kawamura is running down the court right at you, man. No, I'm just playing. But you know, hey, come on, man. You know, he should inspire fear in folks on the transition, but you know, he just looks so nice. But I would love to actually to see Yuki on the break with Matas in a real NBA game, but I digress. Oh, my bad, Troy. How you feeling, man? How you feeling about Matas? Did I already? No, I already came to you. That's my apologies. I came around. So
gotta lay off the weed, Phil. Stop doing pregame weed, bro.
I should watch what I say. I am not. I do not do drugs. God, that was real awkward. Just snaking around that thing. Okay.
Talking about way too sensitive thing here in Australia at the moment.
We're good. Yeah, we're all good. But I can't wait to see what Matas has in store this season. I honestly, the dude, I haven't been this excited to watch a basketball player, like, you know, that we drafted since probably, I won't disrespect him, since Laurie. I had a lot of, you know, confidence in Laurie Markkinen at one point. And, you know, I feel like he's got everything that it takes. I mean, you guys all said it already, but I mean, really, it's his combination of skill, but also the mental makeup, because the kid just like he clearly wants it. And then him being a hometown boy, and then him asking Billy to be hard on him. And then Billy started, you know, my dad started calling him Captain Hook, because literally you did one thing and he was pulling Matas in like real quick, but he took that, you know, let it slide off his shoulders and only improved and never complained. I think he's going to get the most out of his potential, just because of how the kid is. And I can't wait. I hope he puts LeBron on a poster this year. That'd be great. Might have to put that up on a poster myself if that happens. But honestly, other than them two, though, I guess I'm going to kind of switch gears a little bit here. Who do you think is more important to the Bulls going forward in the future, not only this season, but in, you know, seasons afterwards, between Coby White and Dosunmu? And I'd like to ask, we'll start with you, Haize.
You said who's more important?
Yeah, who do you believe is, like, I guess, a bigger piece of the Bulls' future moving forward?
I mean, I the way I see it, they both are, because they're yin and yang. Like they complement each other well. This goes back to Io's rookie season. Like, even though that wasn't Coby White's best season, but they always had really good chemistry when they were both coming off the bench at that point in time before Io moved into the starting lineup. So I see it as them both. They have different responsibilities, but I'll say this: Io's responsibility as the Bulls' probably best two-way player on this team is just as big as Coby as the number one scorer, because not only does Io he's going to take on one of the biggest responsibilities defensively. We'll see. You know, Isaac Okoro wants to guard the best perimeter player, but we'll see. And that Io's kind of already proven and been Billy Donovan's most trusted guy to do that. And then Io's still going to have a pretty large scoring role on this team and responsibility on this team too. So I think they're both highly important to the Bulls' future. And that's why, like, I'm one of the people that, even with Casey Johnson lately saying like the Bulls can't afford to keep both. Like, look at the numbers; they can. And unless you have a replacement ready, you kind of need to, unless you plan on this team taking a step back.
I love that answer. Troy, we'll go to you next. How are you feeling about Ayo versus Coby? Or I guess you don't have to do it that way. If you think that they're both vital to the Bulls' future, go ahead and roll with that.
Yeah, no, I think they're both vital to the Bulls' future going forward. Now, I think as I've said before, if you have to go one or the other, like you got a gun to my head and pick one or the other, I'm going Ayo, because of what he can bring on both ends of the court. He's that two-way player that the Bulls really need, but.
Okay.
It's for me. It needs to be both of them because Coby can bring that spark offensively. Obviously, we know what Ayo can score, but he's probably the best perimeter defender on the floor. And as people, I think Haize, you've said this before as well. Like when you get to a certain stage in your team's growth, Ayo is the type of player that you absolutely need on your team. Whereas Coby's more replaceable. Like if that makes sense what I'm saying there, but yeah, I think they're both important to the team going forward. But ultimately, it depends on what Chicago really wants to do with the future if they've got it worked out already.
Okay, I love that. What do you think, Neill?
Yeah, see, I suppose if you're talking about all-star aspirations, then Coby is probably the guy that you're going to lean towards. He's technically he's the current leader if you have to put that title on anybody on this team until maybe Mattis or Giddey take up that role. But, so in that respect, I would say Coby is important. But the thing with Ayo is he's probably our best two-way player on the team at the moment. And that's the thing that really, really makes me like Ayo, is the fact that he is going to make an impact on both sides of the ball. And, you don't get that from Coby, but then Coby's an electric scorer. So, it's hard to pick one over the other because they give you different things. And both things that they give you bring a different aspect to this Bulls team to make it potentially going to be more successful moving forward. So, yeah, I agree with everybody else that they're both equally important, but they do bring you different things. But if you had to make me choose, I won't ask you to do the gun to your head thing again, Phil. That didn't work out so well for Ja Morant. But I would say that it's probably
throw the grenade instead.
That's hilarious.
Nice one, Neill. I appreciate that. I guess I'll give it a little bit more of a spice here. I won't cop out. I'm not saying you guys did. I'm saying to give a little bit of diversification here for our listeners. I really feel like we have to. I agree with you, Haize, that we could sign them both, but I really feel like if I had to pick one to be a bigger part of the Bulls fabric moving forward, I really think it's Ayo. It's not anything against Coby because the dude can ball, man. He can really fill it up, and he's the only player right now who stands any shot at averaging 25 points a game on the Bulls this season. But, like, at the same time, I feel like in 2025, scoring is more replaceable than ever, and it's not a slight to Coby, but I feel like once Matas takes like that step where he can be the guy at the end of games, I just really feel like I prioritize, like you guys have said, the Swiss Army knife that Ayo is. I mean, he could do everything. He's invaluable. You could play really positions 1 through 3. You can even probably play the 4. Billy Donovan's nuts. He doesn't care. He'll do it. But
he'll play Trey Jones to the 4 if you let him.
Yeah, Yuki's in at center, man. Get in there. You got this. But I feel like they're both going to get re-signed. But I guess real quick, I'd like to know, like, what do you guys think is a fair number to sign them both for? Like, off the top of your head, fair annual number. Haize, what do you got?
Coby's, if he has the season that even if he scores 22 to 24 points per game, he's getting to 30 million. And I'm not mad at that number for him if he's able to do that with his rebounding, creation, all that type of stuff. I was a little bit more interesting, right? Because like my first mind goes to Io, like 15 to 18 million-ish, that range is really good for Io. I think that's a fair range. But then I say that, and I didn't in the back of my head, I'm like, but then that leaves him getting paid less than P. Will. Right? That's the thing that throws off any reasonable value on this team, is because like you look at that and you're like, will he accept a contract getting paid less than P. Will? Probably. But it's that part of it makes me think it can get a little bit higher than that. And if it does, if Io is looking for getting into the 20 million mark, and if he has another season where he doesn't finish healthy, which he hasn't done the last 2 years, then it could get a little rough. But I'd say between 15 and 18 million is a sweet spot for Io for me.
Okay. Okay, so and then where'd you have for Coby? My apologies.
But 30 to 32-ish million is I think where around Coby's going to be.
30, 32? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think, Neill? What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say the exact same thing in regards to P. Will. How can you pay somebody like Dosunmu less than P. Will? You can't. You've got to at least match that contract, I think. Now, I know they all say that they're friends and everything, but money divides people, right? So, excuse me. So, yeah, I would say you've got to be hitting at least 18 million for Io just to make that balance against what he's surrounded by. Coby, it really depends on the kind of season he puts down. Like, if Coby has a slow start to the season, another slow start where he has to then build himself up to start playing at the level that we've seen him play at, then I think that could damage his value maybe potentially going forward. But then if he closes out this season really, really strong, that pushes him back up again towards that kind of, late 20s, early 30s kind of value. So really, for me, it really depends on what kind of a season Coby puts down. And there's a lot of expectations on him to get potentially into the All-Star, not as a fan vote, but as a coach's decision. And if that happens, then that essentially skyrockets it then, into the 30 million plus mark.
Okay. How are you feeling about it, Troy? You feeling about the same?
I'm definitely about the same. Yeah, if Coby has has a season where, like he ended last season, where he, player of the month and just scoring 20 plus points a game, you're definitely going to see him getting over that $30 million a year mark. It may even push 35 potentially. I know Haize is just saying 30 to 32. That could potentially push 35. As far as I goes, like again, I'm in complete agreement with everyone on this one. And as Haize said, that $15 to $18 million is around that real sweet spot. But as we've all brought up, that Patrick Williams contract has just screwed up everything for everyone else in this team. Because like if Patrick Williams is going to get $18 million a year, then Io's definitely worth more than that. If that's how we're going to base the contracts on.
Yeah, it's hard not to do that too. I mean, players do that, it's a respect thing for them. I mean, I think for some of them, it's not even, so much about exactly what they're getting paid because they know they're going to be well off, but it's about like their status and how they're looked at around the league and where they rank amongst their peers. I gotta say, man, that P. Will contract is the gift that'll never stop giving. It's not a good one either. It's a bummer that, like you guys said, like I owe 17 million per year sounds perfect, like in my mind. But then how do you justify that to him? Like, I know that this guy who's warming the bench over here is our 12th man. Like, because P. Will stands a really big chance of being like the 12th man on this team this year. And that's crazy because he's going to be the highest paid 12th man in basketball. But
it's something I literally just thought of as well, like just thinking back how much of the percentage of the cap is with Patrick Williams' contract. Haize, this is something you may possibly know. How does it compare in terms of percentage of the salary cap with Cristiano Felicio's deal?
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Oh, geez.
I have to go back and look at that. I mean, right now, P. Will's contract is right under 12% of the salary cap. How much was Felicio making? What, 11 million?
It was 8 million a year, I believe it was. Which doesn't. It sounds like it's nothing today, but like back then, especially for a player of his caliber,
it was a 4-year, $32 million deal. So
it's a lot of money to get splinters.
And you know what? This is also another great argument as to like the percentage cap. Why people need to look at the percentage of salary cap that players are getting paid as opposed to the actual dollar figure.
Yes, they're not keeping up. The average NBA fan is not
Not the
keeping
same
up
anymore.
No, they hear certain numbers and they instantly assume that it's like this is how much
Cristiano
money.
Felicio is making 10% of the salary cap. Right
Sorry,
under 10% of the salary cap at that time. So it's a very similar deal when you look at it that way, which is crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
nuts.
How much of the cap is Josh Giddey's deal? It's like
15.
I think it's running. What 14 and a half to 15. Well, now that's at 25. It'd be about that 15%.
16.2% of the salary cap. This
I
season.
mean, considering Josh Giddey's probably triple the basketball player that Felici. My God,
he gets more rebounds than Cristiano Felicio. That's for damn sure.
That's crazy. That's. I mean, to be fair, like Josh Giddey out rebounded Vucevic after the All-Star break last season. Pretty wild stuff, man. He's actually. I looked up the numbers. If he averaged that throughout the season, that 10.7 number, he'd be the best rebounding guard in the league. So
I mean, I think he'd be a top 5 rebounder in the league overall at that number, regardless of position. So,
and the fact that people
he's an overpay.
Yeah, just off his rebounding and passing alone, he's worth $25 million. I had somebody tell me that if he was an elite playmaker, we would have been to the playoffs. That's
not how that works. You got to have somebody that you're playmaking for. But so, like, to put this in perspective, right? I'm just going to put this in perspective. Just off assist, let's just take the assist. Josh Giddey accounted for 17.7 points per game created off assists last year. There are players that score that per game that are getting paid $20 million. So shut up on the Josh Giddey being an overpay thing. That's just like Josh Giddey accounted by himself for almost 30% of the Bulls' offense by himself. It's not an overpay.
No, it's not. And I love that from you, Haize. And honestly, like I wish I don't want to talk about it anymore, but like, people got to stop giving us reasons to talk about it. That's the only reason it keeps coming up is because people keep opening their mouths and saying dumb things. Like he's not worth
20 million being a compromise, right, Haize?
Exactly. Oh my God. Petty Roosevelt almost. So if Josh Giddey averaged 10 point, you said it was 10.7, right, Phil, after the All-Star break?
Yeah.
That would have made him only 0.2 less rebounds, 0.02 less rebounds than Rudy Gobert. It would have made him a better rebounder than Jalen Duren, Alfred Sengun, Nikola Vucevic, Jared Allen, Bam Adebayo, Evan Mobley. He would have been a better rebounder than all those. Better than Zach Edey. If he keeps that up for a full season.
7'6" player. Better rebounder than the defensive player of the year. I mean,
yeah.
And people, I don't understand why, like, if you would give some of those, like, accolades that Giddey has to other people, they'd lose their minds over it. But because it's Giddey, it's like, oh, well. If you watch him rebound, he's actually, like, literally boxing out and getting down there and, like, out-rebounding dudes that are much more athletic than him. So he works for him.
And how many times does he box out a player and it actually leads to the Bulls getting the rebound just because he's boxed out?
That too. Yeah. It's at this point, like I said, anybody who just want, like, and this is not to say the people that have the concerns, like a legitimate question is, okay, is Josh Giddey going to be able to, how much he's going to be able to replicate over a full season after that, what he did after the All-Star break? That's a fair question. But for the people that say stupid stuff like he's terrible, oh, well, the OKC Thunder only became a championship team because he got traded, smack your mama. I'm sorry. I know this is basketball without borders and not Chicago Bulls Central. I'm trying my best to hold petty. This conversation elicits Petty Roosevelt from me because why are people so stupid? Why are people dumb?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Being smart is free. All the information that we all have here is free. We don't you can go out there and get it if you really want it. Y'all stupid.
I love it.
I'm sorry. All right, I'm done.
No, let him know. No, please be yourself. Petty Roosevelt is a part of the panel too.
We need one of these episodes where it's not Haize joining us, it's Petty Roosevelt.
Oh, you only get full Petty Roosevelt episodes when shit got to be really crashing down all around us. Like the last time I just did a Petty Roosevelt episode was, I think, when I went off on Nick. No, it was Jordan Crawford. That was the last Petty Roosevelt episode, which was an epic episode.
It hasn't been cited since.
I mean, if you suggest that we should trade Giddey for Trae Young, you can watch Troy's head literally explode. That was a good episode, a whole lot of bull. You guys go. It was from a few weeks ago. If you are so inclined to watch Troy lose his marbles for about 20 minutes, it's not suited for work. Let me just put it that way.
The funny thing about when Troy does get in that, like, he still sounds so polite when he says it. So it's like, are you going off, or are you trying to motivate us? Which one is it? Like,
I had a few beers that night too. And then that thing fucking pops up, and I'm like, what?
Yeah. It clearly was not your cup of tea. I don't think you'll be trading for Trae Young in any 2K games anytime soon, if I had to guess. But real quick before we move on, I want to say what's up, Melissa. What's up? We miss you, and we can't wait to have you on next month. But all right, so moving forward. So honestly, the bench is really the bench and starting small forward are extremely interesting, and has only become more convoluted recently with the out of nowhere Dalen Terry hype, which I was not expecting whatsoever. Really cool, because for him to become, a really viable and valuable piece of the rotation would not only be great for the Bulls, but people might not want to hear this, but it'd be great for Arturas Karnisovas. It would show that maybe he's not completely brainless when it comes to seeing long-term potential in a raw prospect. So with that said, I wanted to ask you guys, who do you think is going to win that starting small forward position? And we know all of these players are probably going to get some sort of playing time, but like who are your odd men out? I think that's an easier question to ask than who's going to play. Like who do you think are the 11th and 12th men on this team, if you had to guess? So
Javon Carter.
He's 15th. He's
just as long as everybody understands he's not playing, thank God.
No, he's at the end of the bench. Anytime I ever did like any fantasy GM stuff on my show, Javon Carter was last in the list of names that I listed out. Why couldn't you just decline that player option, my friend? But yeah, who are your? I mean, I know why he didn't. I mean, he wasn't gonna.
He's not getting that money anywhere else.
No,
so.
No, and it's money for nothing, right?
Nothing. He's chilling. So who do you guys got as a starting small forward, and then who are your, player or two that are unfortunately going to just be left out of the rotation? We'll start with you, Neill.
Okay, so unfortunately, I think Yuki is going to be one of the ones that slid down to the far end of the bench if he sees any tick with the main team at all, which I know you don't like to hear, Phil, because you're big into Yuki mania.
He's fun. He's fun.
Yeah.
Maybe we're just fun, but we got to blow out some people so you can get some garbage time.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess I can see Jalen Smith getting left till the back end quite a lot again. I mean, it was the trend that was going on last season. I wouldn't be one bit surprised if it continues. Whether Ulbrich will see any tick is another one. I know you'd rather see him on the floor, Troy, but I'm not sure that he's going to see too much, certainly this season anyway. But the one that concerns me and the one that I want to see some floor time with is Noah Sengay. I really hope he gets an opportunity. Not that I want him to get like major time, but I just want to make sure that he gets some time on the floor so that he can develop. Like, he needs to work on his body for one, because he's very slight, but that will come with time. But experience only comes from being on the floor. So I want to see him get some floor time.
For sure. Real quick before I move on to someone else, do you think that Windy City Bulls, does that do anything for you as far as floor time, or you really want him to get that time in the NBA?
I want to see him get some tick in the NBA. I don't disregard the Windy City. I think that you can pick up an awful lot playing down there as well. I mean, you are playing against other talented semi-NBA players at least, if not full NBA players down there. So yeah, I mean that's all part and parcel of the development of it. But the NBA just plays at a different level, and everybody knows that, and that's why players that play in the G League, they struggle to break through because it is a different level. And for that reason, I want to see him get some real tick on an NBA floor rather than just a G League floor.
Fair enough. Troy, what you got, man?
I think Julian Phillips is probably going to get left down the end of the bench, obviously with the ball-headed, you know who?
Whore.
Just because we're on Phil saying, I'm not sure how much we can really say. So
Be you. Be you.
And plus that's Haize phrase. So I'm not going to completely steal it, but yeah, I think JP. If what Casey Johnson's come out and said about Dalen Terry, and if he's had this monster off season, maybe he plays his way into the rotation. You know, Isaac Okoro being here. This is where, if Dalen Terry steps up, Isaac Okoro, we all know what he can and possibly should bring to this team. That's where I see Julian Phillips possibly being on the back burner a little bit. I dare say they're probably going to try and give Patrick Williams another opportunity, which,
yeah,
why?
Yeah,
I personally think
$18 million a year. That's why.
Yeah, straight, and that can be the only reason why they do give him another opportunity to show what he's got, because there's really no reason to give Patrick Williams any more tick. Sorry, Neill, I know that's been your boy for years now with the 60 Rainbow
He's in the
threes.
rear view mirror. Don't worry.
He's in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, he's done.
Patrick Williams Island is now deserted. You're with the last man standing.
I think I might have been actually, like, I went hard for him one last time last season. It was the game we sat everyone against the Cavaliers at the end of the year. Pat Williams came in, and obviously everyone was sitting, so he actually did pretty good that game. And my big dumb optimistic self got on this show and was like, he can still play, he can still contribute. And then the play-in happened, and now I'm never ever going to have hope for Patrick Williams again, because he was out there doing the Tony Snell. He was just getting cardio, getting cardio on an NBA floor. Which, if that's the thing, if we're allowed to do that, don't put me in the game, coach. But what do you think? What do you think, Haize?
So the way I view it is, the Bulls, the starting five to end last year was so strong of a finish that I do think Billy Donovan's going to give that starting five a chance. So I do think Herter is going to have every chance to start at the three, right? So if that starting five stays the same, Giddey, Coby, Herter, Modest, Vooch. We know that Trey Jones is definitely going to be getting minutes. We know Io's definitely going to be getting minutes. We know Zach Collins is definitely going to be getting minutes, right? So that's 8 right there of your probably 10-man rotation. Okoro, I definitely see getting minutes as well. So that's 9 out of your 10. So that means you're getting everything from Patrick Williams, Julian Phillips, Dalen Terry, Jalen Smith. Those 4 guys are all fighting for minutes in that 10th spot. And that's really all that's available to them there, unless somebody does hit a crazy leap, like Dalen or Julian did hit a crazy offseason leap, and they come in more ready to go and can leapfrog some of those guys. But I think the rotation is going to be pretty straightforward, and I do think Jalen's going to find it a hard time to make minutes. Of course, all the two-way guys, we never really play our two-way guys a lot, so they're not going to play. And the wild card in all of this is how ready is Noah Estingay by the end of the season. We know that at the start of the season, he's probably going to get some G League. Like, even Modest played a little bit there. He showed himself to be so good. They called him right back up. But if Noah's defense, and that's the thing that I think, I know his offense is going to be a project. If his defense comes along early, that's going to kick those guys further down the totem pole. So I think that battle for the 10th man in the rotation spot is going to be a hard-fought one going into training camp. And I don't know when's the last time we've been able to say that. So that should hopefully put the team in a good spot.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I can't remember the last time
Who attacked Mina?
I think maybe she was upset about the Felicio. She said she will not allow Felicio slander, which
you don't have to allow it, but you do have to accept it.
I don't think that sentence has ever been uttered. I gotta respect that, Ramina. But
I
yeah,
not mention Lonzo Ball while Ramina's watching either.
what was that?
Love you, Mina. Better not mention the Lonzo Ball deal while Mina's watching as well. Love you, Mina.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, don't talk. I mean, there's another deal too that we probably shouldn't bring up. But so overall, I agree with you, Haize. Like, I can't remember the last time the end of the bench was like actually this interesting. Before it'd be like, whatever, Ronnie Brewer, whatever, Richard Hamilton, Keith Bogans. You're talking about the shooting guard for the last version of this Bulls team that was actually fun and had hope. So yeah, it's really interesting to me because I feel like honestly I have Dalen Terry being the odd man out. I not because I thought he took a step last year, but we added people at his position that like you guys said, like how ready is Noah Essengay, and then you still got Julian Phillips, Isaac Okoro, and Patrick Williams that are all right there playing that same position. I mean, in Huerter as well. So if I had to pick the starter, I feel like it's going to be Ayo at the 3, not because he is a small forward, but just because he's our best two-way player. And I feel like – but I really – it's going to be hard for them to not play Kevin Huerter in the starting lineup based on what Hayes said, because a lot of people don't know this, but he led our team in plus-minus for the end of the season. Like after the All-Star break, he averaged a plus 8.2 plus-minus a game, which is pretty good, man. Every game – he played, he was a plus 8 on the court. And only Josh Giddey was like close to him with a plus 7.1 or whatever it was. So it's going to be hard for them to not go off last season's results. But I think if I had to guess, I'm going to go with Ayo just because I think he's the best player. And I think Billy's going to put the best 5 players on the court if I had to guess. But Isaac Okoro stands a really good chance. I'm excited to see him play defense. I think he could, like, all of a sudden we have some decent perimeter defense like prospects, like Dalen Terry and Julian Phillips are both pretty decent defenders. You got Ayo, you got Isaac Okoro. If Matas taking a step would be really helpful. A lot of people, I don't know if they realize that he was top 15 in blocks per 36 minutes last season. So, yeah, we just don't have that rim protector, man. And, Vucevic has literal lead in his shoes. So there's no rim protection to be had there. But I guess, how do you guys feel about, I come to Vucevic. How do you guys feel about him coming back? Do you feel disappointed that the Bulls didn't make a trade to get him up out of here? And do you feel like this team can benefit from his presence? We'll go with you first, Haize.
Yeah, they definitely benefit from Vooch. Like, there's no doubt about it. As much as Vooch gets slander for his defense, which is warranted because he is not a great defender, Vooch was still key to, like, Vooch was the Bulls' half-court offense for a large majority of last season, and you need that. So, yeah, Vooch still definitely helps this team. Does he hurt it in some aspects too? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of by design, though. They didn't bring him here to play defense, so hopefully Modest does take him and our perimeter defense does get better. But Vooch definitely helps his team, and he helps quite considerably. We're a better team when Nikola Vucevic is on the court, and that's just what it is at this point.
Well said. What do you think, Neill?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of last season, when I did my reviews of the players and grades, Vucevic came out as the MVP of the season, of the Bulls season for me. I mean, he's solid. You know what you're going to get. He's a double-double machine, and Vooch is a great NBA center. He's not a great defensive NBA center, but, he shoots from distance. He works well in the post. He works well in the mid-range. He can facilitate. There's a lot of positives to be said about Vooch. However, I think with this team, we need more defensively, and we're not going to get that from Vooch, unfortunately. But the biggest thing is, you're talking about the disappointment. I actually think Vooch is possibly the biggest disappointed person out of everything, because I think Vooch was really ready to go. It's not that he's not happy with the Bulls, and it's not that he's not going to produce for the Bulls, but I think in his own head, he's ready to move on, and that hasn't happened for him yet. So I think it's an inevitability at some point that the Bulls are going to move on from Vooch, and Vooch is going to move on from the Bulls. It's just a matter of when and how.
You say that. I don't know how much you see me. I really do think there's a possibility he gets an extension if he's not traded by the trade deadline. I really think that.
I heard you saying that on the last pod you did actually, and yeah, it's definitely a possibility. It can definitely happen, and it may be what we're presented with. But at the same time, if there's not a good enough deal out there for the Bulls to get something from him, then that is probably the way it will play out. But if a deal can get done, and if they find some way of getting it done, then I think they will. I think they'll move on for both the Bulls' sake and for Nikola Vucevic's.
Before I go ahead, Troy, what do you think about Vooch and his impact on the Bulls?
I mean,
and are you disappointed that he's still here?
In terms of the makeup of the team, yes, I think it's time to move on from Vucevic. But as Haize has said, like, he's a perfectly fine center. He's just not the rim, like, shot block and rim protector that we need. Like, Vooch, as he is, we knew what we were getting when we traded for him. Like, he was never going to be a rim protector at all. I mean, he's going to get you 18, 20 points a game, 10 to 12 rebounds. You know what you're getting with Vooch. It just seems like, and he definitely brings a lot to this team. Just, I think what the Bulls in this iteration of the team now needs from its center spot is more of a defensive-minded shot blocking center. But hey, I can't be that mad at Vooch for what he does, because we know that's who he is. But yeah, I would like to, I know Haize has brought up, it's probably going to be, if we can't trade him at the deadline, don't be surprised about that extension coming. And then maybe they do the same thing like they did with Lonzo, trade him right as the offseason starts. I'm not mad at him coming back. I'm not thrilled about it, but I'm not mad at it.
Okay. So not going to be buying any Vooch jerseys, though.
No.
Okay. I got to admit, so I was pretty disappointed at first, but I've come around. I mean, being quite honest, like, you don't find, like, people like Vooch who average, or, if his shooting splits are 50, 40, 80, and he's got the post game he's got, there's very, very, very few centers in NBA history that have those shooting splits and have an elite post game. So it's a real shame that the man can't protect the rim. I'll tell you that. Like, it's really a shame, because he probably gets overhated, but it's because his defense is so bad. I mean, it's really bad. I think Felicio might be able to drop a 20 spot on him. Maybe that was a little too far. But, he doesn't, he's definitely not scaring anybody from, taking the ball down the lane and trying to challenge him at the rim. So, it's a shame that we were so close to Maluach, but I do like Essengay. So, yeah, I see you. What's that?
Was that close to Maluach?
I thought it was for sure, like, live, because they traded for what's his face, Mark Williams, and so I'm like, oh, they just traded for a center. No way they're selecting one, and then
I thought Phoenix was going to pass him. I knew who was it after them? Houston.
Us.
No, who was after? There was one team between us and Phoenix.
Was there?
I think it may have been Houston.
Maybe it was.
But I knew that whoever was before us wasn't going to take Maluach, and I'm like, as long as he gets past his pick, he is there for us to take. And I was getting excited, and then when Adam Silver said, "Come on," I'm like, damn.
I couldn't believe it. I crashed out live on the stream. But look, Phoenix, take it back. Trade us Maluach. You guys don't need both of those guys. Come on. God.
I honestly think I wouldn't be surprised if Essengay is the better player. I really wouldn't.
It wouldn't surprise me
if
it ends up being that way.
And I hope that's the case. I really hope I do.
I mean, I was shocked by how big Essengate was. Like, so I know that you see the heights, and he's actually the same height as Lachlan Ulbrich. And yeah, I met them both at Bulls Fest, and it was shocking to me. Like, I knew that Essengate was tall, but for some reason he gives off a different vibe, even more so than Ulbrich, because he's just so he's just got that, I don't know, that really athletic looking body. Like he has a chance to be really dangerous, man. I'm really excited to see what Essengate could do, because if him and Matas if they both max out their potential, that's a really dangerous twosome in the front court. Real quick, do you see Billy trying to utilize Noah as a small ball center at all? I've heard I've heard rumblings of that. I just want to know what you guys would think of small ball center Noah Essengate.
You're probably a year or two off from now. Eventually, yes. I do think eventually, yes. Noah's going to fluctuate between like the 3, 4, and 5, 4 and 5, maybe more in 3 or 4 years. He got to put on some weight, but I think that's eventually. But right now, I don't think that he's ready for that. He's stronger than what people think, but I think when you are facing off against the Jared Allen, Evan Mobley's, those type of players, you're going to see very quickly that he's going to have to add some strength here. That's going to have to be his focus before he can play center long term.
Fair enough. All right, so we're getting to the hour mark. I don't want to keep people too long here, so we're gonna go back around. I'm gonna ask everyone for record predictions. I want to know what you think. I want to be different than normal, boring, just one record. Let's do ceiling and floor. Like, where do you think the ceiling is for this team, and where do you think the floor is at? And then we'll quickly rifle through these questions. I also do want to say before we get to closing here, look, everybody that's watching, first of all, if you're on YouTube, please, it would be awesome if you guys dropped a like on the video. But also, please subscribe to Bulls Without Borders, that channel right at the bottom. The only reason we're not live from it today is because you had to request access to be live. Hey, so that was on me. But going forward, we'll be meeting on there so that all of our platforms can be properly shared, amongst one giant dominant organization. But all right, boys, floor, ceiling. Troy, we'll start with you. What do you think for the Bulls this season?
So if everything goes right, I mean, it's not something I've done a deep dive on yet. I'll be perfectly honest on that, going through the schedule. But let's just for the fun of the conversation, if everything goes right for the Bulls this year, 45 to 47 wins. If everything goes right. If everything goes to absolute shit, then 30.
Oh, that would be rough. That would suck. I would be sad.
That's with everything going to absolute shit.
Fair enough. Neill, what do you got? Oh, I think you're muted, bro.
I'm going to be a little bit more reserved at both ends of the scale. Sorry, I muted that because I was pulling out a draw here. So I'm going to say the low. I'm going to go with 38 and 44 at the lowest end, because I really don't think that they're going to crash out like a lot of people are saying that they're going to. And the ceiling, I'm going to keep it quite reserved as well. I'm going to go 44 and 38 the other way.
Okay.
But my actual prediction, I think, is going to be 42 and 40.
Okay.
Best case scenario for the Bulls, the high end that I'll go is, I'd say 43 wins. I think that's if they get out to an early enough start and take advantage of just everything ahead of them. They have a very difficult start to the season, and it gets a little bit easier. So I think that's the high end I'll go, barring catastrophic injuries. Like I'm talking about, barring Coby and Giddey play like 30 games each. I'll say the lowest that I see the Bulls going is maybe 36 wins.
Okay. So I'm going to live up to my, I guess, reputation for being super optimistic. I think that the peak that this team could reach, I really think that they can be 48 and 34, and that's being very generous. I think it's being very generous. I'm not going to say 50 wins because that's a really good team. But I think if everything goes right, I feel like then you're saying Josh Giddey is a star. Like he's officially like he stamps it. He's a star. Like he's averaging close to a triple-double. Matas takes a leap. Your lineup's gelling. You got a bunch of youth, and you're running teams off the court. I think, Sam Smith brought something up in an article the other day that I thought was interesting. He said that the Bulls were the pace that they play with was actually making teams quit last season, especially towards the end of the year. And it's pretty awesome, man, that we're like capable of running people out of the gym that much. And with how deep we are, we really should be. There's no reason not to get a fresh pair of legs out on the court if a guy like Julian Phillips, is left out of the rotation on a normal basis. I think, though, the floor, I think there's a lot of variance with this team. So I think that the floor could be, very much 30, 34, and 48. Is my math correct there? I could see that as well. We're a 5-game, that's well under 500. So my actual prediction, I think I said before that I was going with 45 and 37. I like that. It's still pretty optimistic, but I think the Bulls are ready to take a turnaround this year. I really feel like we are, and I think it's going to be more than just a few more games than last year. I think they're going to show what they got. I think Slayer asked in the chat how old this team is without Nikola Vucevic. Our average age without him is 23.9 years old.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
Young,
Crazy.
Yeah.
very young.
Like,
That would put us like if I'm off the top of my head, like the third or fourth youngest team in the league if we didn't have Vooch on the team. If I'm
Youngest team in the
just
NBA.
like with like the Utahs and the Charlottes and Brooklyns.
So last season, the Thunder, that's nuts. The NBA champion Thunder were the youngest team in the league at 24.14
that's
years
crazy.
old.
Wow.
So 23 would actually make us the youngest team in the league.
That's crazy.
And so that's why when people are, when people try to say that this is the same old Bulls, it's not actually. Like, we haven't done this since the baby Bulls, since, Kirk Heinrich and Ben Gordon and Nocioni and them boys. It's been a long time since the Bulls actually made a youth movement, like, push this much. And the most exciting part to me is, like, the guys that have the most potential, they're all the youngest people, like Matas is 20, man. I still can't get over that. He's old enough to poster LeBron in the NBA, but he's not old enough to go get a Coors Light from the store. Just to keep, Giddey's 22. I think Okoro's 24. Coby's 25. Huerter's 26. I know Dalen Terry's 23. Noah Essig is 18. I mean, it's nuts, man. There's hope. I think that's, if there's one thing people take from this podcast, I would love for them to take away that there is reason to have hope for the Chicago Bulls. So, all right, we're going to go through these questions here to end the show. Rob, I apologize in advance because you have a lot of messages here, and if I missed one, then I apologize.
Rob be yapping, man.
Yeah, that's why Rob's my dude, man.
Rob's good. Rob's good people. He's good people.
He is for sure. I appreciate how much he interacts. It sucks when you ask for comments and you get chirps. So I appreciate you, Rob. But oops, didn't mean to put that up. So would you guys see Billy staggering Giddey and Coby often? Like Giddey gets subbed out, then Io goes into play with Coby, something like that. We can fire through these as quick as possible. I say we could definitely see that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I can see that. Billy likes to tinker around with his rotations, as we all know anyway. It's sometimes hard to understand exactly what he's trying to achieve when he does.
He hates
so
Jalen
I could
Smith.
absolutely see that.
Hates Jalen Smith. If it involves cutting Jalen Smith's minutes. Yeah. Yeah. I think his player efficiency rating last year was like 18.7. It was the highest second highest on the team behind Vucevic. And yet that man couldn't sniff a minute of playing time. You guys agree, Troy Haize?
Yeah, I mean somebody's
I
going to
think-
get staggered. Like there's always a stagger guy. I mean, ideally, I would like to see Modest get an opportunity to be the stagger guy at some point in the season with the bench, just so he can like kind of run the show. But they'll definitely do some staggering of Josh Giddey and Coby White.
Yeah, 100% agree with Haize there.
Awesome. So you think there'll be times when you say staggering Josh Giddey and Coby White, do you think they're still going to play Coby at the 1 here and there? Because I feel like Trey Jones will probably be in, right?
No, I mean positions don't mean anything for Billy Donovan. We're definitely going to see some lineups where Trey Jones, Josh Giddey, Coby White, and Dosunmu are out there. So pick your spot.
Yes,
They're just playing.
yes.
Like we're going to see some of that. So they're going to get there. There's going to be minutes regardless. But I do think for the credit, like the Josh Giddey, Coby White, Trey Jones lineup was actually pretty damn potent for the Chicago Bulls before he went down with the injury. So you're going to see some of that, and the lineups are going to get a bit crazy from a traditional standpoint. But yeah, we're going to see some crazy lineups out.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, there's still some people that are really, really tied to like the way that it used to be with basketball, and point guard was just a point guard and stuff like that. But nowadays, man, it's really positionless. It really is. Troy, you were talking before. Did you have something?
I think we're definitely going to see some minutes, like the minutes being staggered and all that. But yeah, again, it's positionless basketball. It doesn't really matter. I think when Josh is on the court, he's going to be one probably doing the majority of the ball handling. Obviously, like Coby and Martis, and if he gets staggered with like the likes of Trey Jones, like they're definitely going to have ball handling time as well. But yeah, it's Billy Donovan. That's all I can say. It's Billy. He will put together the Frankenstein monster.
For this team, I'm glad that we have, like, for this roster like composition, I'm actually glad that we have Billy. I might not have felt that way always before, but there's a bunch of guys on this team that actually do deserve playing time, even if it's not every night. So it's like Julian Phillips, to me, it's crazy. Like, I think he's got a lot of potential as a role player. But he's like, good luck getting to see the floor, my man. Like, good luck. So we got the next question from Slayer.
Before Phil, just to cut you off, sorry, mate. I think Haize, you just mentioned a little private chat there. You got to head out.
Yeah, I got to head out, fellas.
gotta
I got to
go.
pick my
Oh,
daughter up.
my
Yeah.
bad.
I will see you guys next time we do this. Thank you for having me. It's a great show. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, even though we're not streaming over there today. Y'all go subscribe to it because there'll be a lot of good content coming there over the course of the season, y'all. All right, fellas. I'll see y'all soon, man.
Thanks.
Peace
Haize.
out,
Take care, Haize.
Be
Thank
good.
you. And then there were 3. That's not right. All right, guys. We'll finish out strong here. Do you guys think the signing of Josh Giddey will help P. Will come out of his shell? I'd like to hope, but that's you. Good if you want to hope for it. I don't blame you. It's not a bad thing to hope for. It's not inherently wrong. But please brace yourself for disappointment.
I don't
Yeah,
even
if
think.
you're
Go on,
for
Troy.
Neil. You go.
I don't even think a chicken palm will help P. Will come out of his shell.
Chickapami?
Man, what do you
I don't think nothing's. The only thing that's going to get Patrick Williams out of his shell is Patrick Williams. That's it, and he's not doing that.
You know what? I will say, like, none of us are going to have hope for him, but what I will say is, like, that Patrick Williams has the athletic ability and the talent and everything that you need to come out and ball. Like, it's entirely possible. I'm not going to say it's even. He's capable of coming out and literally being our best two-way player, except he's not going to do that. And
that's the frustrating thing with Patrick. Like, he's got the physical build. He's got enough basketball talent to be a really good NBA player. I'm not going to say he's going to be like a star or anything like that, but he has the ability to be a really good, at least, role player in the NBA. It's all up here. It's all up in his head. He just cannot. Whatever it is that's going up there, it's just not going to click for him.
Yeah, I think that's the frustrating thing, isn't it? Everybody had so much hope for P. Will, and everybody every year they were like, "This will be the year he turns the corner. This will be the year that he gets out of his own head and gets out of his own way." And it just hasn't happened. And this is his 6th year that he's going into in the NBA. I mean, it's getting to the point now where it's time to shit or get off the pot. You know, you need to do it now, or else you're just going to be considered a wash for the rest of your career.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, right now he's on a one-way track to be being covered by a whole lot of NBL in, a solid 3 years.
He's not even on. He won't even be on a whole lot of NBL because he's going to be in China.
Yeah, I mean it's rough, man. You know what's crazy is that he's probably going to dominate wherever he goes. Like he's going to end up being probably the best player in that league or whatever. For whatever reason, though, he gets on the court in the NBA and he can't do it. Yeah, like you see him do stuff sometimes. Like he'll isolate once in a great while and hit like a really nice crossover fadeaway jumper, and you're like, wait, what? Where'd that come from?
He'll do something, and you're just like, oh. Here we go. Oh, okay. No, don't worry about it.
There was one time last year where he literally he got the ball. I think it was in that Cavaliers game where I hyped him up after, and he just decided he was dribbling and they're guarding him past midcourt, and he decided to put his head down and exploded at the rim. He got fouled and almost postered this man, and the way that he did it was so explosive and so impressive. And it's there's maybe 10 guys in the NBA that could just do that. But where is that every play, dude? It just drives me nuts. But that's probably the most that we'll talk about P. Will all year. But
yeah, just a quick little shout with Beeper 550 in the comments. Shout out Javon Freeman Liberty, former Windy City Chicago Bull. He is over here in Australia and playing for the Brisbane Bullets. They took an L last night, and Javon Freeman Liberty had a couple of opportunities to win the game for Brisbane, but did not happen. And they play my Adelaide 36ers tomorrow afternoon here in Adelaide, so I'll get to see JFL in the flesh.
Cool.
That's what's up.
Yep.
Tell him that we said hi. No, just playing. But yeah, he could score the basketball, man. I'm surprised he's not in the NBA. He should be in the NBA. He's an NBA caliber scorer. He's not going to be the star of any team or anything, but the man can fill it up. So, all right, return
just
back.
To correct, sorry, just to correct Rob on that one. Jameer Young, he's not with Perth Wildcats. He's back over in the States, I think, or he's gone somewhere else. But he's not.
He's in the Miami Heat.
Oh, he's in Miami.
Yep.
Yes, he's somewhere in Miami.
Which really bothers me. He's probably going to end up being a really good player. If the Miami Heat picked him up, then he probably is good, because my experience with them is whoever they sign ends up being good. So,
always happens.
But we got Yuki. We got Yuki out of it. All right. So
Yuki Mania.
Yuki Mania is running wild, baby. All right. Slayer's got another one here. How strong do you think the Bulls bench unit could be in comparison to the rest of the league? This is where we actually can win games. I think we can be a top 5 bench unit because we don't have stars on this team, but we're super deep. We're Indiana without Halliburton and Siakam. That's how I look at the Bulls right now. We're developing Halliburton and Siakam in Giddey and Matas, although I think that Matas is probably the alpha in there. Coby White's, I guess, the scorer to the caliber of Siakam, but yeah, I think we could be a top 5 bench unit. What do you guys think?
I think you've hit the nail on the head with depth. My only issue is going to be having that much depth on the bench, and then having a coach who we know likes to play, 8, 9 in his rotation max. I think with the way they're looking to play at pace, high speed, run and gun, quick transition, Billy's going to have to extend slightly just to give fresh legs. I think he's going to have to be looking at 10, maybe even stretching to small minutes for an 11th player on a rotation, just to allow that pace to continue, because I mean, you don't want guys to get burned out. It's an 82 game season. They're all really, really well conditioned, but in order to play at that level for that length of time, you're gonna have to spread it around a bit.
For sure. As long as Zion's not part of the conversation, I guess that's a valid statement. But
damn, have you seen Zion? He has lost all the puppy fat, man. He is looking really, really slight.
He's
yeah, he really is.
Trim. My problem with Zion is that has he already done too much damage to his body, and that despite the fact that he's lost all that weight, is it too little, too late now? Maybe,
but the way he can contort his body for a big dude, now he's going to be doing it at a quarter of the size that he was. I think Zion is going to be really impressive this year.
Man,
I personally, sorry, Phil.
No, go ahead, Troy.
No, I just need Zion to prove he can be healthy for like 2 years, and like not to say he can't miss games at all, but these massive chunks of the season where he's basically missed most of, if not the entire season, I need to see him healthy for 2 full years before I believe in Zion Williamson again.
That's fair. That's
super fair. My argument only would be, I would love to sign him in free agency. The problem is that those guys usually never hit free agency, and if you're gonna have to acquire him via trade, it's tough. It's like you almost have to take a chance on him now while he's still probably cheap, because if he does ball out, then you're gonna empty the cabinet for him. So I don't think I would take the chance on him now, but man, it would be exciting. I can get my head around it, but I don't know what I'd even be willing to give up for him, to be honest with you. I'd rather get maybe this guy.
Yes, Walker Kessler.
Walker Kessler. Thoughts on Walker Kessler? Baller. That's my thoughts. He's a baller.
I think Kessler will probably fit well into what the Bulls are trying to do in terms of setting up their roster with young players with experience, as AK has been wanting to do. Plus, he fits that type of center that the Bulls need at the position instead of the likes of Vucevic, because Kessler can still get his own buckets down there. He's not going to spread the floor like Vucevic does, but in saying that, he brings the rim protection, shot blocking that Vucevic doesn't. So, which one do you find more important to what your team is trying to do, the 3-point shooting or the rim protection? And I'm going to go with the rim protection.
Plus, rim protection is something that you either have or you don't have. You can't really teach that, but you can work on your 3-point shot.
Very true. Very true. And honestly, we've got guys that can shoot. I think we're not hurting for, 3-point shooters, but we're very, very, very much hurting for interior defenders. I would love to get Walker Kessler, or if it's like on the board at all or able to happen, I would love to get, if not Jalen Duren, I would like to get Isaiah Stewart from the Pistons. I like both of those players. Now, Stewart's under contract for 3 more seasons, so you probably have to trade for him. But they've got a bit of a jam in that rotation, and he's averaging a block and a half a game with limited minutes, which is pretty good. We just need something. It hurts when it's Vooch, Zach Collins, and Jalen Smith. You're like, there's not a soul. Like, Josh Giddey's probably more likely to block a shot than any of them are. So I'm desperate for some rim protection on the Bulls. Walker Kessler would feed families. He'd be great.
The best shot blocker we have on the team right now is Mattis, and we've only seen him for 1 season.
Yes. And also, like, when the best shot blocker on your team is also probably the lightest guy in your front court, that's probably not a good thing.
And when it's also your rookie as well, that's never a good thing either. Like, when your rookie is your leading shot blocker and he spent majority of the season coming off the bench, especially at the start of the year with very limited minutes, that's not good.
We should have kept Andre Drummond. I'll maintain that. I loved him he could have been a stopgap starter, man. I know he wasn't great offensively, but he did the little things.
Right. I love Dre, but unfortunately, Billy didn't.
No,
You know,
he hated it.
there would be stretches where he wouldn't even play him for 2 or 3 games. And okay, you got chaos with Drummond, but you also got rebounding and a little bit of rim protection, and he was a defensive force. And I like Drummond, and I was sad to see him go.
Dre was a lot of fun, even in their bad, chaotic ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But see, you sit him at the right time and you bring him back in again. But what Billy would do was he'd see the chaos starting, he'd sit him, and that would be it. You wouldn't see him again. With a player like Drummond, you've got to try and stagger his minutes in a way that just as the chaos is starting to come into his game, you sit him, you let him take a breather, and you bring him back in again and let him build it back up again. But I don't think Billy really understood what to do with Dre.
Yeah, it felt like there was a disconnect there.
Yeah.
Billy's really good about getting along with the young guys. For whatever reason, he has a problem with like older established vets. Like that's where he seems to not always connect. But the team as it stands right now, they seem to love Billy. Speaking about P-Will coming out of his shell, that was the one time I've seen P-Will come out of his shell in the locker room, was when they celebrated Billy being named to the Hall of Fame last year. He led the backstage like crew and cheering for Billy. I was shocked to see P-Will in that situation. But from Infinite Streams United 224, quite a name, my friend. Is this Bulls team now a 3 combo Giddey, Matas, Coby now, or Matas, Io, Noah for the future be best for us? I think you're trying to name like what we're gonna move forward with. I mean, why not all of them? You can honestly, like, the Bulls moving forward is probably that 5. Giddey, Io, Matas, Coby, and Noah Essengame. I mean, you could say that either Io or Coby might go, one of the two, but we could re-sign them both. And in the future, if it's actually possible to play Noah as a small ball center and he's not bad at it, like if it's like you could deck that your 5-man death lineup to end games if he's able to put on the mask to play that position.
And who's to say he doesn't get a bit taller too? I mean, he's only 18. You know.
Wow.
Yeah, he could still end up being 7 foot.
Yeah,
that's actually crazy. I've never considered that, like the fact you could draft someone that young, to the fact that they're not done growing.
Right. I mean, men tend to keep growing up to the age of 21, 22 years old. So
yeah, exactly. I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah, he could quite easily add another inch and a half, 2 inches onto his vertical.
Man, that'd be awesome, because the dude's already like, he's freakishly like long and tall. Like he like bent over to take his picture with me, and I was like, dude, you're really stressing out the fact that I'm 5'7" over here, man. But I think let's see here. I think that's all of our questions. Rob's excited for Lachlan and Yuki at some point in a blowout. I'm super excited to see. I really hope that we get to see a little bit of Yuki. I don't know if he's ever going to be part of like a competitive game, because the team's just so deep, man. But if we have an injury to like Trey Jones, I could see that possibly happening.
And also see a world where Yuki doesn't see floor time purely because of jersey sales. Yeah, he is a lucrative commodity for the Japanese NBA market. And I am sure there are people up in the hierarchy of the Chicago Bulls, without naming any names, Reinsdorf, that are well aware of that.
Excuse you. That was a terrible cough you just had.
I know. I don't know what came over me.
For some reason, it sounded like it was actually a really big loser cough too. I don't know.
Yeah, it's springtime over here now in Australia as well, so it's allergy season. So, Charlie Reinsdorf, excuse me. Oh, these allergies, man.
Man, terrible. It's terrible. I hope that you guys both improve in your health. Because it sounds like you've got. I'm not even gonna dance around it, man. Jerry Reinsdorf, man, he's something else. I guess I'm dancing around it. I'm not gonna. I have very strong feelings, and they're just not gonna help anybody if I share them right now, except maybe me. But
as I said the last time that we all got together as well, like go to the well, at least the NBA Australia store, and who was the first jersey you see available to purchase? Yuki Karamura. Then, like my guy here, Lockie Ulbrich, my fellow Adelaide guy, you have to get that custom made. Yeah, we can get Yuki Karamura. You can just buy it straight from the ball. So Reinsdorf knows exactly what the hell he's doing.
Of course.
oh, playing Bulls fan, my friend, he has a roster spot. Yuki has a 2-way deal, so he technically
but I think what he's saying though, like, is that Yuki will get signed to a standard NBA contract.
I mean, it's entirely possible, but I don't think that Javon Carter is going to be waived because that would involve Reinsdorf paying somebody to not show up to work, and that's something that he does not believe in. I think Javon Carter makes like $5 million, $6 million.
I think it's 6.5.
It's too much, whatever it is.
It's probably $6 million too much. He'd literally have to make $500,000 for Reinsdorf to be like, okay, or be Dwayne Wade, which that's Dwayne Wade. But unfortunately, nobody on this team has Dwayne Wade pull where they're going to get themselves a nice early waiver. But man, I feel bad. Some of these guys are showing up and we're about to dip. You said you did make it, Soggy Pineapple, but we're pretty much at the end here. Do you have a question? We'll answer it.
And after the show's done, just go back to the start of the episode and watch it from the start.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely do that. Even if you sat here and watched it already, just rewatch it. Just playing. Everybody that did show.
See our beautiful faces.
That's a great handle, by the way.
Soggy Pineapple Gaming.
I love it. I appreciate his support. He's on Twitter. That's literally his name is Soggy Pineapple. Let's see. What does Rob got here? I like Lachlan's endurance and mobility over Vooch, but need to get him a better shot from 3 down the road. Yeah, I think he could be a solid backup. I mean, I know Slayer, actually, you like this, Troy. In one of my recent episodes, I had been doing like a question of the day thing, and I asked who would you like to see the Bulls trade for at center if they were to trade for someone. And his answer was, I'd like to see them develop Lachlan Ulbrich. I was like, there you go. He's like, that might be my Aussie bias creeping in. I'm like, you got to rep for your country, man.
And hey, not just my Aussie bias, but my hometown bias as well. Lockie's from, everyone knows I'm from Adelaide. I'm up in the northern area of Adelaide, and Lockie's from down the south.
Down south. I love that. Okay. I mean, his passing ability is really nice. I like his passing ability for sure, and he's definitely got an athlete's body.
Yeah, when I got to watch Lockie play with the now obviously for the my fellow Australian guys that are in the chat here, I don't know if they know if any from Adelaide or not. But when Lockie was playing for the West Adelaide Bearcats in the NBL 1 Central, you can see, he's a smart player. He's not going to be one who forces his game, but when he knows he can take it, he'll do it.
Love it. I mean, he should. At the very least, it's cool to see a center that I'm interested in. At least, like hopefully finding a role, even if it's just as the backup. I'm glad that we have a guy like that on the Windy City Bulls because, like, last year our 2-way players did not really inspire a lot of confidence. I think it was like, other than Jameer Young, who I felt like he could play at the NBA level, but like EJ Miller, it was like EJ Liddell and Emmanuel Miller. They're not. I mean, I don't see them having real futures in the NBA, but it could just be me. You know what? I gotta bring him up.
Oh, you had to do it, didn't you?
I did. Hi, Kelder.
As your freaking Kelder.
I'm
Hello,
not answering
Brian.
your question, but I'm gonna say hi. It's not happening. He's retiring as a Chicago Bull just to make your life a living
His
H.
jersey will hang in the rafters.
Yeah, just like that.
Kelder. It's going up in the rafters, boy.
Yeah, it's gonna get, and Keller, yeah, he's gonna. We need to get him a front row seat when Josh Giddey gets his Ring of Honor induction in 20 years.
And that finals MVP award.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, Giddey winning a championship in the city would be wonderful for my What this
That would be
podcast
so good.
This podcast
So
would go
good.
crazy. Yeah, there's definitely some people that should hope that doesn't happen, but that's a shame because they're Bulls fans, right?
Yeah.
But they've dug themselves quite deep into a hole of hatred, and there's no reason to
Fact.
hate. Don't hate, appreciate.
I can tell you one thing. If Giddey leads the Chicago Bulls team to a championship, I can guarantee you I'll be on the first plane to Chicago and I will be staying there until the party stops. Guaranteed.
I'll find my way there too.
Dang, okay.
I don't care if I have to fucking swim. I'm going.
Hey guys, don't swim, Troy. We'll get you there somehow. But yeah, I mean, my mother's house is like 30 minutes from downtown. I mean, don't have to pay for like that crazy, for crazy boarding. Come stay at the
Phil's
crib.
mom.
Yeah, you get some. Okay, chill, bro.
Sounds like there's a backstory there. Maybe you should enlighten the listeners.
I'm good. I think everyone can read between the lines, and if you can't, then dang, Rob thinks Noah's going to grow to 7'1".
It could happen.
That'd be wild.
Could happen.
He's a small forward. He's going to be like Scottie Pippen but taller. Scottie was a point guard and then grew, into a small forward. We're getting a small forward who grows into a center. That'd be wild, man. That'd be incredible. Because then he could really play the center as long as he's bulky enough. But like honestly,
he'll have the opportunity to bulk up.
And like honestly though, wait, what were you gonna say, Troy?
Oh, I was just gonna say, go scroll down to Soggy Pineapples Gaming's last comment. Like, don't do that, dude. Like, that thing will be worth money if Josh Giddey wins the ring.
So true.
This is something that a person with a screen name that says the Soggy Pineapple. This is a perfect like comment for that screen name. I love it. Yeah, you might want to get him back.
Yeah, just hang on to it for a while. That makes some money. But getting back to Noah real quick, like in terms of his building up the muscle and stuff, I don't think he's going to be one who's going to be a huge guy. His body frame to me looks like he's always going to be that long, lanky type of person who does put it, but he's going to be a lot stronger than what he looks because I don't think he's going to be able to put on mass muscle, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, and like to be honest with you, I think that the whole argument about like a guy being too thin, that kind of went out the door with the way that the NBA has evolved. You're not allowed to do a lot of the stuff you used to do as an enforcer. The days of like Jason Williams on the Nets, I read his autobiography and he's like, his whole job when he was growing up in the league was like to give 5 really good fouls. And that was his thing. Like they put him in the game. He knew he had to earn 5 fouls, meaning like he was going to put someone right on their rear end. And, that's the game that I grew up loving, but that game's kind of gone, man. It's really not a thing. And so if you can't bang down low like that anymore, you don't really need to be like that big. You really don't. I mean, Kevin Durant, I thought he was going to have a lot of trouble. He famously didn't get any reps on 185, right, at the combine. I believe it was him. He had 0 reps at the combine. And people were like, oh, my God, he's going to be so weak, so thin. He's not going to be able to play at the NBA level. And he's gone ahead and had one of the greatest careers of all time. even though
Exactly.
I hate the way that he's done his career. He's a homie hopper, but loyalty matters.
He got LeBron to thank for that. So
True.
Yeah, LeBron ruined basketball.
The thing with Noah, though, right, when he was playing in Ulm in Germany, he was getting to the free throw line a lot. I mean, he's obviously able to make a strong menace of himself down low. So, he's not weak. He just needs more stability and strength going forward in the NBA. That's all. Doesn't need to bulk
and he's
up
not weak-minded.
massively.
He's not weak-minded either.
No.
And that's the big part because of the aggression.
Yes, as long as you're willing to fight, If you're passive and you let people bully you, then sure. But you can get around all of that with a high IQ and just knowing how to position yourself and everything. So I think Noah will be just fine. Everybody, I appreciate everybody that's joined. Honestly, a lot of people have joined in the last 10, 20 minutes, and sorry that you guys missed most of the show. Maybe this is, I don't know. I don't want to keep Neill up too late on most nights, but maybe we'll consider this for our start time next time. We'll see. Maybe. It's 1 a.m. there, isn't it?
It is just gone 20 to 1 in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So
well,
it's 12:43 a.m.
So
yeah, it's
9:13 a.m. here where I am.
Right.
I appreciate you guys for both coming. For anyone that just showed up, Haize was here earlier. He had to bow out and take care of some family stuff. And then Jamal from Bull Central and Melissa are a part of our team as well, but they were unable to make it due to circumstances out of their control. And so they wish that they could be here, but they'll be here in the future for sure. Honestly, I think that's all I got. I think do you guys have anything that you want to sign off with? Troy, you got anything?
No, well, not as far as the Bulls are concerned, no. I think I'm just looking forward to the season getting underway, and we've got Media Day next week.
Is Noah the same size as Chet? I think he's an inch shorter.
I think Chet's 7'1".
Yeah, he's 7'1", so he's 3 inches shorter than Chet. But I mean, Chet's a good. What's that?
At the moment, I'm still holding out for him growing a bit.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be crazy. Have hometown boy like Isle for us. You gotta support and root for him. That's a fact. But we're like I said, for everybody who wasn't here earlier, we're going to be doing these podcasts monthly. Bulls Without Borders. Let me bring up the channel again. If you're here on YouTube, please leave us a like on the video. That's highly appreciated. And this channel right here is where our episodes are going to be coming from. It was my mistake why it's not tonight. I forgot that you had to request access on YouTube to go live. So going forward, we'll be coming from Bulls Without Borders with everybody as all of our channels as a collaborator. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that signed on to do this. Cause real quick, I had just I had this dream of getting, the most positive and respected and cool Bulls content creators from all over the world. As long as they could speak English and talk to me on here. I had a dream to put that together, and honestly, I didn't. I'm shocked at who said yes. I'm humbled, and I think it's amazing, and I think we're going to be whatever this was. It's only going to get better, and we're only going to get more efficient. And if I'm really excited to see where this all goes. So appreciate you boys, and if anybody, you guys should be following both of these guys, Troy at Whole Lotta Bull or at Whole Lotta NBL. Those are both of his channels, and then you got at CRed UK. Is that it on Twitter?
Yep. At CRed UK, or my own account is at Neill CRed UK, and Neill is 2 L's.
There you go. And on the comments of this video, I'm also going to post both of their Discord links. I would encourage you to join both of them. They each got a server, and they're both awesome. So I think that wraps us up. Everybody, my name is Philip Charles VanDerHeyden IV. I know I'm such a jerk for saying it every time, but you would too if you had that full name. And as always, I'm seeing red more than ever, baby. Thank you guys. Until next time.